Hey guys, tootsieforever here. Now, we all have very different opinions on certain things within My Little Pony that have always led to some very nice and civilized discussions throughout our pony community. So, I threw a message out there asking you all what your popular and unpopular takes are of Friendship is Magic. And as a bonus, we'll also throw some G5 stuff in there as well. And I thought it would be fun to look over and discuss some of them. So, let's get into it. My biggest bugbear, I like how they use bugbear, has always been Celestia's regression into being crazy, immature, and belligerent after the staff decided she was too, quote, boring. I don't know about that. I feel like the earlier seasons definitely had a much balance of professionalism and goofiness, but I will admit the later seasons did kind of make her a little bit too goofy. Celestia and Luna should have stayed as rulers of Equestria. Twilight being placed as ruler feels out of place. It really doesn't make sense, like, how do you go from, like, a student to Princess of Friendship to straight up the ruler? Looking back on it, I actually liked it, but now that I kind of think about it, I want to say that I kind of prefer, like, maybe if Twilight was, like, the mayor of Ponyville instead. I don't know. I don't mind Starlight Glimmer being part of the main cast. She was more interesting as a villain. I got a lot of responses commenting on this one, some also saying that they didn't like Starlight Glimmer. Season 5, she's one of my favorite villains of all time, next to evil Twilight. She was awesome, she was powerful, she actually posed an actual threat to Twilight. Her becoming like a main character felt so rushed in Season 6 because it just felt like they had to throw her in there just so they could get her arc ready for the Season 6 finale. But as I think Season 7 and 8 really fleshed out her character where she started growing on me. Cozy Glow did not deserve to be turned to stone. Yes, what she did was horrible and deserved punishment, but not the death penalty. Discord showed us that when you're turned to stone, you still hear everything that's going on. You're not dead. She's a child. Like, that excuses everything. So she still has room to grow and change. If a 1,000-year-old god like Discord can change for the better, why can't a child? Discord had Twilight and Fluttershy reach out in the hoof of friendship, and he gladly accepted. Cozy Glow had multiple opportunities to become good, like when she was first introduced with the CMC and the Student 6 throughout Season 8. But she chose none of that, because certain characters are just so far gone, you can't bring them back. And Cozy Glow, T-Rex, and Chrysalis are an example of all three of them, because that's not how life works. Not everyone can be reformed. Discord is an awful friend who never learns anything, nor is held accountable for his many, many crimes. Not true, because he is held accountable in a lot of episodes. He can't even apologize. He should have been turned back to stone years ago or in jail or something. Saying that he should have been turned back to stone, no, because I love John Delancey. I'm glad we got so much of him playing Discord in various quality of episodes, but no, I disagree with that. I think Discord has changed a bit. The Student 6 were easily the best and, dare I say, only consistent good aspect about Season 8. I agree, I like the students, but they got shafted so hard with some of the worst episodes that the show has ever had. And not only that, but I'd go as far as to say they deserve their own spin-off show. Yeah, kind of like Equestria Girls, where they had like a small little mini-series on YouTube. I think that could have worked really well for the Student 6. This could have worked. No, I disagree on that because Flash Century was just the generic hot, nice guy that the main protagonist falls in love with. They have no chemistry. It's all like, you helped me, you're nice, we're in love now. No, it's dumb. Stupid! I ain't gonna shorten this for Twitter limit, but too long didn't read. Cohesive canon and lore and MLP never actually mattered. Let me explain. Basically, what this person's saying is that a lot of lore and character traits that were established in the earlier seasons got lost as the show went on. So if it feels disjointed and a lot of stuff got lost as seasons went on, that's because some of it did, especially when you have a revolving door of writers. This individual also brought up that the show never referenced or talked about anything that happened in the IDW comics. The show always did its own thing, while everything else just kind of went off what the show was doing. So of course there wasn't going to be any communication, and then there was going to be some continuity issues. Canon, I believe, is just up to the viewer, so you guys decide what you want to be considered canon. Star Treks is the embodiment of a toxic relationship. Emotional abuse, manipulation, constantly fighting, passiveness, combined baggage, and entitlement. All of that is super unhealthy for any relationship, platonic or otherwise. I think this individual is just looking way too deep into this, as if you think that's bad, look at Spike and Twilight's friendship. Oof. As for Starlight and Trixie, they're completely different characters. One resents her past while the other one embraces it. So of course you're gonna have those two personalities clash from time to time, where it's gonna come off like they're constantly bickering and fighting. But no, that's just normal friendships. You do that, you fight and you grow, and that's what they've done. Season 9 isn't that bad. Burning up, I know. It has a few really low lows, but on average is fine to good. With Season 9 being the final seasons, of course a lot of things had to be wrapped up. Whether they were wrapped up good is up for debate, but I like to believe that the writers tried. I think some definitely tried a lot harder than others, but they at least tried. As for the final episode, I feel like no matter what they were gonna put there, no one was gonna be happy, because when you have a show that's been going on as long as Friendship is Magic, like with 9 seasons to go off of, you're not gonna be able to please everyone, so everyone has their own expectations or ideas of where these characters should have gone. But I think for how it is now, I think they did a pretty good job of at least wrapping everything up. Okay, here is my hot take I wanted to share. I actually prefer G5 My Little Pony and the G4 animated show Pony Life over any other G4 MLP media, and G5 should have continued on if it weren't for the G4 diehard Brony fans ruining G5. Pony Life is interesting if you like that type of humor. I always just saw it as G4 brain rot, but if you like it, that is fine. Putting the blame on the G4 fans is kind of ridiculous, because we're sorry that Generation 5 got canceled. We're sorry that Hasbro treated it the way it did. But blame those guys, don't blame us. It's not our fault that we couldn't get into the show. Make Your Mark had better songs than most of G4. What?! The G5 characters are actually really fun and interesting characters that got shafted by poor story writing. Yes, I like the G5 characters, but their writing was complete horse doo-doo. The G4 music was so good. In fact, a lot of the songs were so iconic that they even put them on their own official My Little Pony vinyl record because of how great they are. G5 has more likable characters than G4. I'm gonna say this and tell you that you are wrong. G4 has tons of amazing characters. I mean, look at this giant wall of pony behind me. I wouldn't have any of this if I didn't like the characters. And you can't say I don't like the G5 characters, because I have a giant Zip plush because I absolutely adore her. Only in the movie, because I feel like some of the characters in the movie got butchered when they went to a series. But I love the G5 characters, but I don't think they hold a candle to my boys back here. Those were definitely some interesting takes, but hey, that's their opinion. I personally think Friendship is Magic should have ended after Season 5, but hey, that's just me. But leave me your hot takes in the comments below. I'm tootsieforever, and thank you for watching.
Hey, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you liked it, then check out these other 2 videos that are on screen. And maybe consider subscribing if you would like. I try my best to make these videos whenever I can. But seriously, thank you.